everyone, welcome back to Joey's Retro Newscast. It's Friday. Here is all of your retro handhelds, retro gaming, and gaming news. After months, OnionOS is now back with an update. And there's a few things here that you should be aware of. They are setting GPSP as the default Game Boy Advance emulator, which you would want on a Miu Mini type device that is a better emulator for Game Boy Advance games. They fixed a whole bunch of different things, a bunch of bug fixes, a bunch of changes, nothing crazy that I could see, but they did update RetroArch to the latest version, and they updated a few cores, which should help with retro achievements users from what I understand. Either way, it's awesome to see OnionOS is back in the game, and I'm hoping that they add support for the Miu Mini Flip pretty soon. And that's it. We only had one piece of software news to talk about. It was a very nothing week for actual updates. So, question of the week. What are your hobbies? What do you guys do besides play retro handhelds? For me, I think a lot of people know, I've talked about it many times, reading. I read a lot of books in a year. I do more reading than I play actual games. So for me, reading is my top, I don't know what you would call it, hobby. So I'm very curious, what are your hobbies? Is it reading? Is it something else? What do you do besides play retro handhelds? Jumping over into device news now, and detectives on Reddit found that the Anbernic RG34XXSP has been reduced from 2 GB of RAM to 1 GB of RAM. And it was actually confirmed afterwards by Anbernic and their support team. So yeah, it looks like Anbernic is scaling back, at least the 34XXSP, the RAM, from 2 GB to 1 GB. You might be asking, do you get a discount on price on that? The answer is, of course, no. I am not sure if this is a sign of things to come for their other devices, but they're doing it for the 34XXSP for whatever reason. So you should be aware of that. If you are planning to buy one, there is likely going to be a difference. Probably not for actual performance, but there is going to be a difference in what you're getting. AYN has released the ability to roll back their update on the AYN Thor. For those of you that don't know, AYN released an update for the Thor about a week or so ago. We talked about it last week. And due to that, there has been a lot of issues with battery and some other things. So a lot of users want to roll back. And so AYN has provided it, and I believe it is on their Discord. So that's where you can find it. I did talk to a few people that have done it, and I've gotten mixed messages on if you need to factory reset or not. Some have said that they didn't need to, and then I've seen others say that they did need to, so I don't know what's going on there. As somebody who has not updated their Thor, because I saw some of those issues, and I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I always wait. That's what I do. I see the update come, even as somebody who's supposed to be reviewing these things, I see the update come, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait. And then I will let other people guinea pig this update and tell me if it's bad or good. In this case, it ended up working out. So I'm still on the previous original update or whatever it was. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to update and it won't cause big issues. But if you want to roll back for the same reasons that I'm on the old update, then you can check out their Discord, the AYN Discord. They should have all the files that you need. Okay, and next up, we're going to take this one with the highest grains of salt. But there is a rumor right now that the Anbernic RGDS is getting a relaunch. I shouldn't say relaunch, another version of it without the internal storage, without the sticks, and it's going to be using the same processor, a little bit less RAM, and it's going to be Linux. We've been seeing some videos and images pop up of a Linux operating system and what that looks like on an RGDS, and apparently it's going to coincide with whatever this new release is going to be, which should be a cheaper version, Linux only, still only running Drastic, all of that sort of thing. I did hear other rumors that they're going to be changing the screens to be integer scaled screens, but that I have not been able to confirm. I have been seeing a lot more hubbub about the other stuff, about a second RGDS. This kind of all goes back to the fact that when I talk about Anbernic devices and how there's something missing from them, and all you have to do is wait one more month for the one to arrive that actually has what you want, this is just another example of that. Again, grain of salt on this. It could or could not be true, but it would be in line with what Anbernic usually does. It's their kind of nonsense of what they usually does. That doesn't make sense. It's their kind of nonsense for what they usually do. It is so early in the morning for this. Anyways, that is apparently not their next device, though. There is something else coming that is going to be mid-range. That's going to be next up, but keep an eye out for whatever this RGDS light. I can't believe we can go lighter than the RGDS. Keep an eye out for whatever this RGDS light is, because that's coming, I guess. Just very quickly, I've been asked a lot of times where my Retroid Pocket 6 review is. They didn't send me one, so I don't have one. I bought one. I'm probably not going to be doing a review on it. I don't think so. I mean, nothing special about this device. It's kind of like the most safest of boring devices, so it's not really something that interests me. But I'm kind of more annoyed the fact that Retroid has now said that they don't blacklist reviewers, and they have now not sent me 2 devices in a row, which means I am blacklisted from them. That's perfectly fine. They're within their rights to do that. But I am also within my rights to make a video all about Retroid and how their year has gone, which I don't know when I'm going to have that. Maybe next week. We'll see. I'm working on it, but we'll get there. Anyways, Retroid Pocket 6, probably no review for me. And they probably needed some sort of review, because the only review they had previous to their actual launch of the device, shipping it, was 1 review. Where's all the reviews for the Retroid Pocket 6? Are they just done with reviewers? Are they done with that whole thing? I don't know. Judging by the lack of enthusiasm I have seen for the Retroid Pocket 6, they probably needed more eyes on their actual product for a flagship release. Like, this should be their biggest release of the year. And I've seen more hype for the MagicX One35 than I have for the Retroid Pocket 6. That's not even a negative against MagicX. I think they're doing awesome stuff. But Retroid should be one of the top parts of this community, but they act like such an immature company at sometimes. Anyways, that's my news on the Retroid Pocket 6, so let's move on. We now have some specs for the Mangmi Pocket Max, and as expected, it's pretty much what we thought. We have the Snapdragon 865 processor inside, which is the same as the Retroid Pocket 5, the Flip 2, the Mini, and all of that sort of thing. We have 8 GB of RAM, which is awesome to see, 128 GB of internal storage, which I still hope that people would move away from, but given how this year is going, we're probably never going to move away from it. Active cooling, which I'm hoping the fan is a lot better than the one in the Mangmi Air X. 7-inch AMOLED, 144Hz, 1080p screen. This is probably the standout feature of the device. This is the one thing that will get them away with being able to charge 200 to 230 for this device. It's a 7-inch screen. The only other way you can get one of these is an Odin 2 portal. So their lack of competition is going to be a benefit to them in whatever they choose to price this as. We have Wi-Fi 6, and we have all of the other usual fixings. Android 13, 8,000 milliamp hour battery, that's awesome. 27-watt charging, which really cool. And TMR sticks and all that sort of thing. I have to say, I'm actually pretty excited to check this one out. I don't think it's doing anything new or interesting here, but the specs and the presentation all look like it's coming together into something that's cool. I guess I like this because this is attacking the Retroid market. And so if we get more manufacturers that are making premium types of devices in that price range, I'm all for that. That's awesome. That's good stuff. And everything that I see here looks good. So yeah, I don't have much negatives here. I did talk to them. They did say they were sending me out for first batch for review. So whenever that arrives, we'll check it out and we'll play with it. But I don't know when that's going to be. I'm going to ask them for pricing and all of that once they ship it out. So hopefully I can give you some sort of idea of what this thing costs when I find out. And I guess to go back to my MagicX One35 comments here, I've been asked again where my review about that is, and my device is kind of lost in shipment. I had my review unit from them sent out December 20th. We are now a month and a bit later. Still, it hasn't been updated since January 5th on my tracking. It's somewhere in, I don't even know, Canada or wherever it is, but yeah. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if I should just buy another one and then have it arrive or whatever I should do, but if you're waiting for MagicX One35 content from me, it's in the ether. It's somewhere. Next up, TrimUI is making a new brick with sticks. It's a brick with sticks. That's really it. It is bigger screen, bigger brick, and they're adding sticks. I have been told that there are 2 models arriving. Apparently one has Android, and I don't know if the other one has Linux. I don't know how this is all working. From what I understand, there's 2 models. There's 2 model numbers. But we've seen videos and pictures of one running Android and one running Linux, so I don't know if it's a dual operating system type thing or if they are just 2 different models. I don't know why you wouldn't just do one dual operating system model instead of 2 different models, but either way. Apparently, a TrimUI brick with sticks is coming. I'm going to say that I have never found a vertical with sticks to be comfortable. So I don't know if this is going to be for me personally. However, I will say that if they remove the sticks and it was just a bigger brick, that would be what I want. So if I end up liking this thing, I'm just going to delete those sticks and use it without the sticks. I'll put little 3D printed caps on it or whatever so I can flesh it out. But that would be what I want to do. So instead of doing 2 different models, TrimUI, maybe just do one model without sticks. Because the people want verticals that are just verticals. A lot of people don't want the sticks. Like I don't want sticks. Retroid Pocket Classic has proved that. So do that. We need another Retroid Pocket Classic competitor. Ayaneo has released a little bit more information about the Ayaneo Pocket S Mini, which is coming up pretty soon. I don't know. The only thing we really got confirmed here is that it is going to be using the same screen as the Ayaneo Pocket Air Mini. And that instantly takes me out of it. Look, we haven't talked about that yet. I have a video coming up on comparison between the TrimUI Smart Pro S, the Mangmi Air X, and the Ayaneo Pocket Air Mini. The screen on the Ayaneo Pocket Air Mini, the level of ghosting, it's real bad. It is a really bad screen. So knowing that they're going to be throwing it into another device instantly tells me I'm not going to be buying that device. However, looking at this specific device here, the Ayaneo Pocket S Mini, they have the small sticks again, which can we get rid of this trend of the small sticks? They're just awful. Like truly awful. But anyways, they have small sticks again. But I keep going back to this. What is that? The Ayaneo button in the bottom right, whatever that button is, it's a little circle or whatever it is bigger than the face buttons on the device. Why is the start, select, or whatever the button is on the bottom right bigger than the actual face buttons of the device? I don't know. I don't know. The Ayaneo isn't the only company that makes this mistake. MagicX does it too, but like we got to get away from this. Make buttons be actual buttons. Please, just do it. Anyways, I guess we'll find out more about the Pocket S Mini sometime soon. Lastly, we have new news of a new x86 device from Ayaneo called the KONKR Fit. So 7-inch OLED, AI9 HX470 processor, 80 watt-hour battery, and so on. It just looks like a bigger KONKR Pocket Fit, and it runs x86 or Windows, Linux, whatever you want, all that sort of thing. I saw a lot of people thinking this would be very cheap, and I don't know what they're smoking, but this is an AI9 HX470. The previous processor, the HX370 devices, were going for like $1,000+ by every single manufacturer. So if this is the next step up, you can rightfully assume we're looking at probably $899, $999, that price range there, plus all of the other benefits and shipping and all that sort of thing. So not going to be cheap, at least for my guess. I don't think it will be, but it's probably not going to be cheap. Okay, and as just a reminder, we have one more week left in the month, which means that our games of the month will be changing over next week. We have Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation 1, Pokemon Odyssey for Game Boy Advance, and Golden Sun, as well as Golden Sun Lost Age. We just added that on for Game of the Season. The other 2 games are going to be replaced next week, so if you want to vote on games for February to play, you might want to join the Discord. That's what we're doing for next week. This week, I did finish up Golden Sun. I don't remember if we talked about Metal Gear Solid last week. I think we did, but I did finish that up too. Anyways, Golden Sun, I finished. That is a fun game. I actually really liked Golden Sun. But obviously, it is a part 1 of part 2 type game, so I'm jumping right into the sequel in a little bit. I need a little bit of a break. I'm going to play something else. Life is Strange Reunion just got announced, so I got to get back to some Life is Strange so I can catch up. Anyways, that is where I'm at for games of the week. I am playing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm trying to finish up some achievements in some other games and all of that, but come join the Discord to vote on some games for February. Okay, as always, we end off the newscast with the newscast Q&A. You can send in your questions to newscast@joeysretrohandhelds.com, or in the Discord, there's a channel there. You can send it in through there. First question comes in from Ajamir. Newscast question of the week. What's the absolute cheapest handheld that you would actually recommend people get? Not like the cheapest that you can get for under $50, but one that you'd actually be okay with using. I've said it many, many times, and it kind of changes now a little bit, but the Mangmi Air X would be the absolute cheapest handheld that I would get that I would use. It has enough power, it has enough everything, it feels good in the hands, all that sort of thing. It is the best handheld for under $100, even though it isn't $100 anymore, all that sort of thing. Mangmi X, top of my list. But I really like the Miu Mini Plus still. I know that it is underpowered. I know it has a lot of issues. I still love the Miu Mini Plus, and it's such a great handheld. That's like $30 or $40. Besides that, the Anbernic RG Cube XX is still one of my more favorite devices in the budget line. So, wait, but you said absolute cheapest. Yeah, okay, so absolute cheapest. I think the Cube XX would probably be the absolute cheapest if you can get it for like $40 or $50. Then the next up would be the Mangmi Air X. I don't know about the MagicX One35. I haven't gotten it yet. That might play into this somewhere, but yeah. So for the purposes of this question, the RG Cube XX would be my answer. And last question of the day comes in from Kyle. How often do you play a handheld outside? Not super often. I will bring a handheld with me to the mall whenever my wife's like, I need to go into Bath and Body Works, not Bed Bath & Beyond, Bath and Body Works. And she's in there for like half an hour. And I'm just over with the other guys sitting, and I'm playing my handheld there with all the other depressed men waiting for their wives to come from wherever they are. So that's one of the times that I use my handheld out on the go and outside. Otherwise, trips and things like that, airplane, vacation, all of that sort of thing. I'm not really out on the go. I work from home, so it's not really something that I'm out on the go on a train or anything like that I use it outside. So it's very rare that I do so. It's most of my gaming is on a couch in my living room. That's kind of where I'm at. Okay, and that's all we have for this week. So appreciate you all for watching, and that's all from me. Toads suck, Arkansas.